What's up, Descendant? So let's go over one of the top tier best leveling and early to mid game to even the earlier stages of late game builds in the game, and that is 100% going to be a bunny. So you're seeing I'm just in the lower level in terms of my actual level here, and I'm just running around. I'm not even shooting, and you're just seeing just enemies just constantly dying. Now the reason why is because we want to be able to have 100% uptime on lightning emission. This is an infinite lightning emission build. And the great thing with this, you don't need to have the ultimate bunny. You don't even need to have any things purchased with this build, as I made it very, very free to play and beginner friendly. The whole goal is to basically have lightning emission up the whole time we play. We might not have infinite sprint, which is something that we will get later, because movement speed is also key right here. While streaming, I was really getting asked consistently in the stream, Slaydra, how do you have infinite lightning novas? And the thing is that that's the only ability that we actually use with Bunny. You can actually get way more DPS versus using her ultimate to just have this up and move and shoot at the same time. The other thing I want to mention really quick, the weapon that you have equipped will determine your movement speed. You can see I'm not even firing at all, just literally walking. It's a walking simulator right here. So the two things that you need to focus in on, and you can do this super early on. Obviously, you're going to need the modules, but you can get some of the earlier modules, and you can get this up and running very, very early on. It kind of depends on your drops, but you'll get it. Because two of the mods that we require for this, they're two blue ones, which is the most common one. So you'll get it, don't worry. So for starters, the two things that you need to actually get in your build earlier on are going to be cooldown for your skills, as well as getting the increased duration. You can see this is very important to look at right here. So you can see the cooldown, it used to be 30 seconds, we've converted that to 21. And then on top of that, we are also getting on the duration at the very bottom, we are also getting not only the electrocution duration, but not at the very, very bottom one, but go up a little bit more. You'll see where it says duration goes from 20 to 22. Now, all you really need to do is get a little bit of cooldown reduction. The reason why I also had the duration is sometimes you get a mod that does two different things, and hey, if you happen to roll that, that's totally fine, but it's not like you really need to focus in on it. Getting just cooldown reduction is totally acceptable, or just getting the duration be up. However you get your build to have the numbers that match up, again, the cooldown is 21.5, the duration is 22. So obviously it lasts longer than the cooldown. So we're going to be able to keep this up 100% of the time. And I'll even show you guys a mission over here. So here's some mission gameplay. And this is earlier while like leveling. You can see some of the people in the party. They're like what is it, level 32. This is while I was leveling. This is what I was playing. I wasn't even running the ultimate bunny in this gameplay over here. But you can use this very, very earlier on. And again, your whole goal is just to make sure that you have the ability up 100% of the time. Now later, you can also scale to get some sort of MP cost reduction or something to do with maybe increased range. But the main focus is specifically getting that cooldown reduction and that duration up in the earlier stages. Next up, what you want to do is, obviously later, you can get module capacity. I don't even have the increased module capacity here for the gameplay, but that's something that will also really help out. And what you really want to focus in on in terms of the modules, I listed all of them for you guys, but the thing that everyone will get earlier on is called Nimble Fingers. That's all you really need to get it almost up and working. You get that combined with any sort of skill duration, you're good to go. So Nimble Fingers, everyone will have access to, and then you'll basically need one more. In the earlier stages, since you won't have it very high level, just try to level that one up as the main priority, as some of the other ones, they may give you extra cooldown, but they also will give you something else, so it gives you less of an amount. It depends on what you get, but there's tons of modules here. Just keep in mind, some of them have a certain tag, whether that is like battle, control, whatever. But the nice thing with Nimble Fingers, it is a blank, which means you could just throw it on your build. And if you've ever wondered why certain modules, when you're putting them in together and it doesn't work, it's because you can't have too many of like the same sort of module. And I don't mean the little like symbol here, I mean like what it says in the bottom. Sometimes though, unfortunately, with the first Descendant, the text is so large that you can't even read the whole thing. So just try to equip them, and if the text is too long, it'll just have like a little like orange thing and it'll say like you can't equip it. And it'll tell you why. Sometimes it's because you don't have enough module capacity. But again, Nimble Fingers is basically all you need. And then on top of that, you will also want skill extension or any of these ones over here. So again, I made it very beginner friendly. So if you want to just type it in, skill duration, third of the map, then go ahead and farm whatever one that you need. Again, you don't really need to get all of these. Just choose the one that you actually need. And again, because they're the blue ones, it makes it very, very easy to go ahead and obtain. And as far as what I was running and what I can recommend as the other ones, because ideally you still want to run your weapon module, the sub weapon, which is like your melee weapon, you still want to go ahead and actually run that and upgrade that, because that will give you more module capacity. But you can run things like time distribution, which is what I was running, and if you are getting towards the later stages of the game, you can also invest into electric specialist, which will give you more damage for the lightning novas that will be going on. And then as far as the defense stuff goes, in the earlier stages, what I recommend for any build, this goes for every single class pretty much, increased HP and increased defense are just the superior choices. And if you're wondering why is that better than shields, because I play a lot of video games, I'm sure you've probably played a lot, where like the shields, they regen, your health doesn't regen. Why does everyone play with increased HP and defense? That was something I was wondering too. And the reason why is when you kill enemies, and especially if you're killing enemies very, very fast as Bunny, when you're just rolling through content here, they will drop health packs, but they can't drop a shield pack. So that is one reason why pretty much everyone plays with increased HP and defense. It's just much better. And then, you know, in between packs, yeah, you can get some shield regen. There is another Transcendant mod that you can get for Bunny, but for the most part, that is your defenses here. Now, again, I would definitely get even more defenses, or maybe I get increased range for the skill range. That could be something we can take into consideration. Also, I wanted to mention, and this is something that I was getting frequently asked while I was playing, is why do I keep on jumping? Well, if you read Bunny's passive, when she does a double jump, when she lands on the floor, she does a lightning ring again. So you can get a lot of damage, and if you want to shoot, I kind of have a little bit more fun on shoot at the same time, but you could literally just make this a running simulator build. It's kind of up to you. You know, sometimes it gets kind of boring running around and just shooting, so you can mix it up. But again, you just saw like the opener gameplay, which is actually part of a really good farm route, which you guys should definitely check out that video as well, because it'll help you get some of these mods or get your character leveled up, and that way you're not just doing the defense mission, which is honestly kind of boring, but it is technically the best XP method, and I'll leave that down below. But I like kind of just farming out in the open world, and there's nothing that comes even close for a Descendant for like the early to mid game like Bunny. Bunny is just so much more fun to play. Not only fun to play, but she's objectively the fastest for clearing out content, with the exception of bosses, which is something that we could talk about maybe in like the more end game sort of a build, because you can make her good for end game. But Bunny is by a long shot way better than any Descendant in the entire game, and she's free. But as far as the reactor goes, so what do you want to look for? Now, I don't remember what I was running in the gameplay. I didn't actually screenshot it, but I do have what I'm currently using right now. So obviously we have progressed to this point, and I finally got the time to make the video. But Thunder Cage is a very easy weapon to get, and ideally you want to run pistols, hand cannons, as well as SMGs. And the reason why you want those is because those will not affect your movement speed like the LMGs. You're going to be walking like a snail if you actually have those equipped, so you do not want those. You don't have to be doing the sprint ability with Bunny to get the min-maxed in terms of damage. You can just hop up and down, and you can consistently just have that ability. You're seeing right now in the gameplay, like I'm just jumping up and down, activating the ability, and you can pretty much keep it up most of the time, even again in the earlier stages. But what you want to look for, ideally, is either some sort of weapon that you can actually run, but I really like the Thunder Cage because they basically give you that for free. And if you're running it on an ultimate, it gives you 20% increased power for the reached skill power. Otherwise, it will say, well, 140 if you don't happen to have an ultimate one. But these are really easy to get anyways. I'll be dropping a guide also on how to go ahead and acquire this, as it's very achievable. I'm talking like 20 minutes, you get it. Now, depending on your luck over here, you may get some better ones. Like over here I have skill critical hit damage and additional skill attack when attacking Colossus, which can actually be not that bad of a stat, but the thing that you're going to be guaranteed is you will always get these to drop with electric skill power boost ratio and singular, because the skill that we use, which is this over here, is also considered a singular skill. You'll see it on all the abilities. It'll say electric for Bunny pretty much, and then we have singular. So you have to look out for that, and that's the two things that we want. You can just basically check where those actually drop, and it's very easy. Now the Thunder Cage mounting, that's random, but it's pretty easy to get. I'll be honest, I've farmed tons of these. Now, again, the things that would be good, ideally, if you can get to roll with cooldown reduction or anything that your character can realistically use, like these are both usable stats, so it's fine. These are not the easiest things to get because you need it to roll the Thunder Cage or whatever weapon that you're, wanting to run. But again, highly suggest just keeping out a fast weapon. Again, pistols, the hand cannons, as well as the submachine guns are going to give you the fastest movement speed. And the way it works with your ability is the little novas, they spawn in based on our distance traveled, which can actually include using our grapple. So that is something to take into consideration as well. Now, as far as other equipment, the auxiliary and all those other things, what we would want to try to get, like you can see the one I have is max shield. That's not exactly the most ideal thing, but it's not bad. Character XP isn't really something that we're looking for. Any sort of defensive stats like HP as well as defense, those are the stats that we're really looking for. If we get some resistances, cool, but ideally, you don't really need resistance like maxed out in this game. It's not like Diablo or the Path of Exile where you need all 75 max res. It's not really like that. It's basically when you go into bosses, you equip like one of the resistances that is kind of the boss's damage, and that's kind of it. But Bunny's also great for doing these things where you have to pop the boss's balls. What? Because, well, since there's a bunch of them, you can just kind of hit them all at once, and it makes it a little bit easier. But for the set bonus, you definitely want to consider Supernova. The reason why is with the 2 set bonus, our electric skill, which is how we deal a lot of our damage, is going to be really great for that. Now with the 4 set bonus, we have fusion skill attack power that will give us even more damage when they take electric skill attack upon an enemy inflicted with electrocution, which is a condition where, let me go and actually show off this because I believe this one over here has the effect. So I'll show you guys, hopefully it won't go too fast, but like sometimes it's going really fast. Let's pause it. So you can see when you electrocute an enemy, they basically take a stun effect that can take damage over time, but there's like these little symbols if the characters do get hit with some of the status effects that you can see, like you see a little like electric. So that's basically how we get some extra damage in with our build over there, is we can get this. Now, I don't have the set yet, but I'm just trying to get this ready for you guys so you'll kind of know what to look out for. Now, as far as our gun mods over here, what's interesting is Defense Master actually works with this build. You don't have to get the kill with whatever weapon is equipped with Defense Master. You just want this in here because you can see when I'm playing, again, unless it's a boss, I'm not going to be even shooting. I'm just playing walking simulator here. You see, like I just reached level 12. This is like really earlier on. You can actually run Defense Master. What it does is if you kill an enemy, you can get a huge amount of defense, and it doesn't have to come from the gun. It's how you can actually scale to get a lot more defenses because you're going to be kind of stuck on room for specifically the mods. Another thing that is really great if you happen to get it earlier on is HP Collector, but these are not required. I still don't have this, but this is just something to kind of take note of. If you get it, that's going to make your build much better. HP Collector, Defense Master, those are really great. But as far as your gun mods, the things that are going to be great for basically all of the builds in the game, and since this is an early to like mid-game build, I'm not going to include everything here, but the main things that you want to focus in on are going to be rifling reinforcement and then any sort of type of enhancement. So that could be electric, that could be chill, whatever one that you want to go for. If you're wondering which ones I personally think are the best, I think the electric as well as the chill one are the top. And the reason why is not only do you get some extra bonus damage, but you also have some sort of status effect, like the chill can freeze enemies, and the electric can also do a little like dazed stun thing. So it gives you a little bit more. Don't expect it to work on the bosses consistently. I'm not sure if there's some sort of stagger how it works, but you can technically chill the bosses as well. But you're not going to just like insta permalock stun or anything like that with the electrocution effect, which is part of how the build can work when, again, you're using your skill over here. So you can see there's electrocution. It will do continuous damage, and you get the bonus effect on it. I wish they kind of explained this more. I had to like go look on the wiki, and it's very vague on kind of how it works. As this game is brand new, we're gonna have to do a lot more testing here. But that pretty much wraps everything up in terms of what you need to kind of look out for, whether it's the mods. And let me know, guys, some feedback, as I usually create like builds for like Diablo and stuff. I wish there was like a builder website, but it's kind of like I just got to take screenshots in game and kind of just tell you guys, get the skill duration, get the cooldown reduction, and you know, people are gonna have different things, and it's not like we have a trade marketplace yet, which is actually going to be coming out, so it'll be even better, and we can get this build way stronger. And the end game build will mainly focus in on trying to min-max on damage on the bosses, but have some fun with this build, guys. It's probably one of the best bunny builds in the game. And also another bonus tip: you don't need to activate your Q or your Z. So basically, you never activate the little like orb thing. You just keep up your AoE Lightning Nova. That's the whole point of the build, is an infinite lightning emission build, because this skill is by a long shot the fastest way to actually progress in the game. There's not a Descendant that comes even close. At least I haven't seen any. But let me know if there is a build down below. But that's going to wrap things up. If you guys enjoyed the video, drop a like on it. If you're new here, hit subscribe, turn the bell so you don't miss out when we cover like the late game and the end game variant of the bunny build. But take care, and I'll see you guys on the next video. Peace out.